When Mark Richards took over the reins as CEO and designer at Grand Banks, he brought with him a new vision to reinvigorate the brand and change everything for the better. The results were the 54 and the 60. Based on the success of those models, he's taken it to the next level with the new Grand Banks 85. I'm going to do a full features inspection. This is the first of our entertainment zones. 7-foot 5-inch overhead clearance, 18 feet 2 inches side to side. Starts with a solid wood table, beautifully finished, in front of a bench seat. This can easily seat 12 people. Just ahead, refreshment center with a sink, plenty of storage, and 2 refrigerated drawers. All teak decking throughout the exterior. Side rails come up 27 inches. Now to the forward bulkhead, immediately we're seeing the beautiful fit and finish that Grand Banks is so well known for. Curved wood, curved edges, beautiful high gloss finish, just excellent workmanship throughout. Let's take a look inside. Really excellent design going on in this space with open windows, natural light, but most importantly, there are no interior structural supports to interrupt this wide open space, with the exception of this bulkhead that separates the dining area from the galley, and this was added by request of this owner. Normally this is open so we have full view all the way forward. The crew can now go out a side door, down the side decks, into the crew quarters aft without ever coming into the living area. Aft, we've got the salon area with a love seat, L-shaped sofa, 2 freestanding chairs to the opposite side giving us opposing seating. A 65-inch TV is on an electric lift to the port side, and this is connected to one of the most elaborate sound systems I've seen on a yacht. $180,000 on this system alone. Ventilation was a very important part of the design scheme with the 85, and for a good reason. In this instance, we have 2 opening side doors to either side of the galley all the way forward, and then a drop-down window right here at the aft end of the salon. Now, the reason ventilation is so important is because all of the electrical on this boat can be run off of the batteries and an inverter system. We can run all of the equipment for up to 10 hours, and that will only reduce the batteries to a level of 70%. So that's very significant, and a good reason why we have so much ventilation. We just don't need the air conditioning to draw that electrical down further. The galley is fully forward with an abundance of windows providing natural light. There's plenty of open counter space with a stainless steel single basin sink. There's an electric cooktop with an extraction fan above. Below is a convection oven. A convenient pull-out pantry is adjacent to the full-size refrigerator. The microwave is mounted above the countertop. We can add ventilation by opening the doors to the side decks to both port and starboard. Here's a very clever design element. Fully forward, 3 storage compartments with doors that lift up so they don't interfere with anything that may be on the counter. Now let's move up to the flying bridge via interior stairs to the port side. Certainly a roomy space, 6-foot 8-inch high overhead, 13.9 side to side, 15.6 fore and aft. It's an L-shaped sofa over to the starboard side, wrapping around the stern. Beautiful coffee table with storage underneath. Refreshment center over to the port hand side with a recessed stainless steel sink, storage underneath. There's also a dishwasher here, as well as a refrigerator. Fully forward, there's a TV on an electric lift. Now, as with below, ventilation is an important part of the design here. Large opening sunroof, opening side window, opening aft window, plus the door leading out to this aft deck. Huge entertainment space here, 16 feet 5 inches by 14 feet 1 inch. It's an L-shaped sofa, ahead and to starboard. Solid wood table. This drops down so we can form this whole thing into a daybed or a sun pad, if you will. Extended flybridge overhead gives us a little bit of protection. We can also put a sunshade all the way across this deck to keep everybody comfortable when we add lounge chairs. To the port hand side, refreshment center with a sink, refrigeration, ice maker, double burner electric grill. Happy to see that there's a cutoff switch, and this is all including a huge amount of Southstone counterwork. Now let's take a look at the accommodations accessed by a companionway on the port hand side. A couple of things to point out in this atrium area, I'll call it. First of all, it's wide open, well lit. I can see right on up to the Sky Lounge. There's storage over to the starboard side and a couple of cabinets, a little more storage over to the port hand side. Right behind me, take a look at this. Day head, and it even includes a walk-in shower. Look at these teak rails. This is teak. However, the stanchions, the support lines, these are all stainless steel inside of teak. Now, let's move aft and check out the master stateroom. Well, this is a beautiful stateroom. Headroom of 6 feet 8 inches, 12 feet 6 inches by 12 feet 3 inches as far as the whole space is concerned. Now, the standard layout has this stateroom being a full beam. This owner decided to put a head over on the port hand side. Otherwise, the standard arrangement has the head in back and there's a bulkhead right about here. So a lot of times we discuss customization of different yachts and we say, well, how far can your customization go? Most of the time it's you can pick the materials, the colors, things like that. Then we ask, are you able to move bulkheads? And the answer is typically no. Well, in a situation like this, Graham Banks literally took out a bulkhead here and put the head over on the port hand side, owner request. Now, not too much privacy for the masterhead, but Graham Banks thought of that too.
The masterhead includes his and hers vessel sinks, storage is behind mirrored cabinets, and an opening port light is integrated into the hull side window. There's a glass enclosed walk-in shower with teak decking and overhead rainfall.
Another example of the customization that Graham Banks is willing to do. The berth measures 80 by 60. There's storage underneath both sides to the nightstands and then a whole storage credenza over to the starboard side. There's additional storage and hanging lockers forward on both sides of the TV, which is 43 inches. Desk spaces underneath with still more storage. Now here's an interesting aspect. We're doing 22 knots right now in the master stateroom and it's whisper quiet. 71 decibels. Just outside, another customer request. Another cabin with over-under berths. This one also has a hull side window, opening port light. Nice storage. Each berth measures 6 feet 9 inches by 2 feet 11 inches. Overhead clearance, 6 feet 9 inches. This makes an ideal room for the grandkids. 2 more staterooms moving forward. Let's take a look at those. There's one stateroom to starboard. We'll get into that in a moment. But first, the VIP located fully forward. This is laid out in the typical fashion of an island berth, accessible from both sides, but the deck is not on a slope upwards, so we have excellent access to both sides. 6 feet 9 inches of overhead clearance. The berth measures 60 by 80, and it leaves 4 feet 7 inches over the berth. There's storage to the sides, book storage just ahead of that. Small shelves to both sides of the berth, reading lights. Storage again as we come aft, and then hanging lockers. Still more storage is under the berth. And then TV on the aft bulkhead. Now there's an ensuite as well. This has a hull side window, opening hatch above, towel heater, walk-in shower, plenty of storage, vessel sink on top of the silestone counter. There's teak decking that even runs into the shower. Now the guest stateroom to starboard, 9 feet 7 inches by 7 feet 7 inches, 6 feet 7 inches of overhead clearance, twin berths. Of course, we can get this made out into one queen berth. Storage ahead. There's a flat screen TV, and then just alongside that is the ensuite. Now notice all of the staterooms, with the exception of the grandkids, are all ensuite, and they all have the same features. Walk-in shower, heated towel rack, plenty of natural light. As with the above decks, ventilation is very important down here as well. There are 5 hatches that can all be opened up and let air go right through this entire deck. Now, before we close, I want to look at some of the features of the boat and go over some of the finer points of the fit and finish. It starts here with the teak comes forward and then wraps around the support in between the windows. You can see that going all the way across. Look at the curved trim work around the windshields. Look at how the teak at the edge of the overhead trims right around. Just beautiful workmanship. Even the vents are teak. Curves everywhere. There are no sharp edges. Look at this beautiful teak table with holly inlay work. Teak rails along the overhead. Now it's a little bit hard to see, but if you figure you have a straight bulkhead, you can picture how that would be wobbling and not having the structural integrity that it would if you curved it a little bit. That's what's going on throughout this boat. If you look at this side bulkhead, there's a compound curve this way and this way, giving it just a little bit more strength and integrity. That's a big deal, and it's going on throughout this boat, but you have to look very carefully to see it. Now, I know I'm supposed to be unbiased and not impressed with anything, especially when I've seen thousands of boats. It's generally hard to impress me, but as I walked through the Grand Banks 85, I was impressed at every turn. Most importantly, if you just look through it at a quick glance, you can see that there's 3 times the volume of the Grand Banks 60. That's an impressive feat in and of itself. Even more impressive is how she handles and her fuel consumption, but that's another video, be sure to look for it. For now, that's my features inspection of the Grand Banks 85. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.